Of 1984.
Okay.
Of course, during that time, there was only one school. It was one West 125th Street, Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Only one school at that time. One school as far as brothers going out teaching in YAHAWAH, teaching the Word, teaching the Scriptures, Old Testament, New Testament, on that level.
Right.
Of course, you had other schools. But most of them are Old Testament schools. But as far as going out publicly teaching on the street corners, like we do all across the United States now, it was just one West 125th Street, the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So, in all actuality, I was going to broadcasting school. I was going to be a communicator, a broadcaster, right? So, I was coming from my school. It was called NBS Radio, something like that, trying to be a broadcaster. So of course this is in Manhattan, and in Manhattan that's where the brothers would be out teaching a lot. 42nd Street, 34th and Broadway, 42nd and Broadway, 34th and Broadway for the most part. So those were the most areas they were teaching, in the other areas in Manhattan. But I'm coming from my class, seeing the brothers on, I think the first time I seen them was 34th and Broadway. And of course I seen the elders there, seen Marsha, YAHAWAH, Arya, Lahal, these brothers, and Shia, Shaw. They were all there teaching. Of course, I'm hearing the word. Of course, I'm intrigued now, and I'm hearing the word. And of course, astounded how they can go through the Bible and bring out that we're the real Jews, we're Israelites, with power and spirit. That's what got me, the power and the spirit, how they would bring it out. And of course, how they had no fear in bringing out the word. No fear. Bring out with power, spirit, and no fear. And with Esau all around, the cops, they didn't care. So that's what got me, that's what hooked me into staying there to listen, right?
Okay.
So after that, the following week goes by. Of course, I'm coming from my class again, and this time they're on 42nd and Broadway. And of course, I see the brothers again. They're teaching, and this time they recognize me. That's what got me. They recognized me from before,
Right.
You know, the week before.
Right.
And so the brother named Kazak, he was one of the 7 at One West, his name was Kazak. He came up to me and said, "I remember you," and gave me a piece of literature. And when he gave me the piece of literature, of course, that sort of put in my spirit that these brothers from a whole week, they're gonna remember me from all the people that, you know, they come by and sit there and listen. They remember you. So I count that now as the spirit of Most High, you know what I'm saying? To really get me to come in. So when he gave me that literature, it still took me about maybe another week or so, because I was now intrigued, asking questions. I went to my job, asked the preacher, "Are we the real Jews?" All this. He couldn't answer the question. So after that, I decided to go to the class. This is 1 West 125th Street. The first class was a Monday class. That class was Lahal's class. And Lahal was teaching. I came there, and that was my first time coming to the class at the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge, 1984.
Okay.
So, 1984, there was only one time that I took maybe a couple of weeks off. I'm not going to say it was sabbatical. I don't take sabbaticals. I don't believe in that. Right? So it wasn't no sabbatical. It was just I took some time off.
Okay.
It was only a few weeks, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. And then it was Yeshaya. Yeshaya said, when I came back, and we went to 34th and Broadway, Yeshaya came to me on the side. What was astounding is that he could come to me on the side and give me some advice. So he said to me, he said, "Look, where were you, brother? You know, like, we need you. Where were you?" And I'm like, you know, like, in my mind, I'm like, why is he asking little old me? What's I? I'm nothing to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, just coming in. So he he said, look, Barack, he said, whatever you do, and everybody here, they know Yeshua. Yeshua can get dramatic, you know. I know y'all don't know him, but Yeshua can get really dramatic. Barack, whatever you do, never forget your duty to the Most High. Never forget your duties. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks out there. It almost threw me back in the wall. And so, of course, you know, the whole night, the whole day after, weeks after, that just stayed with me.
Right.
Why would he tell me that with such emotion? You know what I'm saying? Why would he put so much emotion? So, of course, now I look at it, that was the Most High. Tell me something, you know. But that's, from then on, I never took no days off, no, always was in the truth from that time up until now. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until 2012, 2013, myself, Nathaniel, and the brothers, the elders here, we came up with the idea of let's get together, let's get the elders of the different schools and camps together to come up with an idea, you know, because there's so many camps and so many new camps are popping up all across the country, man. Young camps don't have no direction, no guidance, how to teach, you know what I'm saying, how to appropriately bring out the word of the Most High and YAHAWAH. So we said we needed to come together. So I wrote a letter, I wrote the words and put the words down. Nathaniel being the correspondence, he put it out on social media. Emails, everything. And a lot of brothers responded. Some camps, of course, didn't respond. Some camps responded that they might come, they might not. But a lot of camps responded. And some of the camps that were there last night responded, like, you know, we had AOC, you had a few camps, they responded. That first in 2014, 2014, the first summit. But it was around 2012, 2013 when we put out the letter. So, and it was from that time on, the Marshal YAHAWAH was, you know, invented in the spirit of Most High, brought us the knowledge and wisdom, how to build, you know, how to build a government. And so, at first, it was just a conference to try to get brothers to come together. But then the spirit showed us, look, this is a government. Let's put the government together by the spirit of a Mashiach YAHAWAH. And so we went from that spirit, we went from there. And it grew to what it is now.
All praise.
That's why you hear every summit, the theme is government of Israel. Let's build the government of Israel. Because that puts a structure over all these different camps and understand Israelite schools, that puts a structure. There's no structure now. It's just all out of place. And then you get these young brothers, you know, look on YouTube, and the first thing they want to do is start a camp, go on the corner, start a camp, because they have no structure, don't know how to teach. Okay? At the House of David, we teach brothers how to teach. We have a student program, how to teach, how to hold posts, how to appropriately read, and how to appropriately deliver the Most High's word. Right. It's not with all the cursing, it's not with your vain opinion, it's not with, we have a student program. And you can't just go right out there and teach. You got to go through the program first. And then once you go through the program, you take the test, whatever, then you're developing, then we say, okay, you can go out there and hold posts. You still ain't teaching. You know what I'm saying? So it takes some time. Right. Some brothers want to go right out there and just go out there and teach, and next thing you know, they're inappropriately delivering the word of YAHAWAH. So YAHAWAH didn't say go out there and bombastically just curse out everybody, belittle our people, call them niggas, and you know what I'm saying, belittle the black woman, and just, you know what I'm saying, just go off. So there's a way to do it, and YAHAWAH gave us the example, but sometimes we're not, that's our problem, we're rebellious, we don't follow. So that's what the Spirit is showing us to do, and most our will, we're able to now, you know, fully develop it and bring it into formation of the government but under YAHAWAH.
All praises, all praises.
That's what we're doing. So that's why we go across the cities of America. Because we know there's camps in every city. And we went to Dallas, and now we're here in North Carolina. We did New York, we did California, we did, you know, Texas, Florida, all across the city. And so, and until YAHAWAH come. Until this government is really a structured government And YAHAWAH is teaching us how it's going to be in the scriptures. So we're working towards that.
Elder Benyamin.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, shalom, shalom, from Yeshua to all Israel, and all praises to the Most High, all praises. Hashem Yahushua HaMashiach. Yes, my brother Benyamin came into the truth Sunday, April 29, 1987.
All praises.
44th and Broadway. Me and my homeboy when I was in the world, coming from the movies. So it was a dark-skinned brother named the White Tazam. And we're like a block away, and I heard this like thundering voice. Listen, we walking, we hear this child voice. We got to the camp. This brother was thundering, brother. This brother was about maybe 5'6", dark skin, and his voice was powerful, man. He was. So we stopped and listened, and the subject he was teaching on is you simple Negroes smoking up the weed and getting high. I said, see what I told you? And he looked at me. I said, see what I told you about the smoking up the weed? And he was breaking it down about smoking the weed and the purpose of the weed, what the weed is used for, and how we appropriately using the weed. And I stood there for 2 hours, man, listening, man. And that was the spirit of the Most High. I said, that day was my day. And then when Brother Kazak came up, smooth operator, man. Not a smooth brother, man. And he spoke, man. He was speaking. I saw Yeshua was speaking. Yeshua was like, when I saw him, I said, man, this dude don't come. He's martial artist, man. When he came up, his appearance and his, you're just intrigued, man. And the way they could pull the scripture, get that scripture, brother, read it. And that's what got you, man. You start, you're like, wow. So when I saw him, I said, damn. I want to learn the scriptures just like that, man. That's what caught me, man. And I've never seen nobody read the scripture and pull scripture like that, and they're able to read it word for word and break it down. And then when Kazak came up smooth. He was a bad brother, Kazak, smooth. And that's what caught me with Kazak. He was smooth, and he was bringing the scriptures out. And I stood there for 2 hours listening. And when he finished, I went over to him, and I said, yo. I said, where y'all from? He said, we're from Harlem. I said, Harlem? I said, I'm in Harlem every day. I said, where in Harlem? He said, 1 West. I said, what? I said, you got paper? You give me a literature. He said, yeah, 1 West on 21st Street. I said, yo, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. That was a Sunday, I was there the Monday, the next day. I was there 5:30 in the afternoon. Went upstairs, waiting for YAHAWAH. YAHAWAH said, come on in, brother. This is the Israeli School of 1 West, UPK. I said, he said, I'm YAHAWAH. Took me around, showed me around the school. I said, yeah. I stood there, I said, yeah. From that day, man, I was in the school, man.
Oh, praise.
I went to Lahab class. Got in there with my homeboy and started. Lahab said, read. Yeah, Lahab said, Lahab said, what, you Benjamin? I said, yeah, what's that? He said, what's that? I said, yeah. He said, you know what? Read Benjamin. I said, okay, I'm going to take that name. And from that day, that name stuck with me. Banyamia from Lahab. And from then, 1 West from that time, we stood there growing the truth. See, a lot of people talk, 1 West had its bad, but it had its good, man. It built character, it built brothers. You know what I mean? It might have the negative with it that went down. But all of that, it built brothers, it gave us character, it made us learn the scriptures, it made us study, it made us real men, man, to go out there and do the Most High work and to build a foundation, man. And that's what we want to set for the other young brothers coming, our foundation. You know what I mean? Maybe our elders might have made mistakes and messed up, but we want to lay that foundation for the other brothers come in so they can have the right track to go into the kingdom of YAHAWAH HaMashiach. That's what we want to lay down. That precedence to our brothers and to our sisters, man, to inherit that kingdom and to receive that crown of righteousness. We want to continue pushing forward this word, you know what I mean, to all Israel and to all the haters, fire for you, man. You know what I mean? We're going to meet on the other side regardless of what. We still got love for our brothers, but a lot of people talk against what we're doing. What we're doing is for the betterment of the truth and for the love of our nation and to build our government. People say, how could you build a government in exile? If you read the book of Romans, the 12th chapter, it tells you about government's help, needs. All right? So we're building a government. We know the government will be formed by YAHAWAH, But who's gonna be the government Yahawashi is gonna form? The same people that he chose to do this work. Now we hope that we're the hopefully elect of the Most High. You understand? And that's what we are striving for. To obtain that kingdom, that elect, and to be in the kingdom of the Most High. Even though a lot of Israelites we have differences and debate about scripture, we all got the main theme that we're Israel, we're going to obtain the kingdom, we're going to rule this kingdom in righteousness, and Yahweh is coming back to destroy this wicked kingdom and to set us back up. That's the main theme. I don't care if brothers don't like what we're doing, but the main theme is we're going to be established as a nation, and we're coming out of this hellhole, and we're going to reign with Yahweh Shai forever and ever. I say, Kwam Yashar to all brothers that's doing this work, whether it's GMS, whoever they are, man. Hey, we're going to meet on the other end and more power, man. You understand? We might see eye to eye, but we're going to see eye to eye in the end. And I like to give props to Tahar too, because Tahar been out there doing the work. You understand? I'm going to give all props to all the brothers. Nathaniel, Nathaniel, IRC, Johanna, because we all came out from One West. And that's who's flooding the streets. All the brothers that came out from One West. You understand? They're still out there pushing the work. But I gotta say, man, to all brothers, keep the faith, don't lose the faith, hold fast, and keep your faith to the end. So you can obtain that crown of righteousness in the end.
Hallelujah.
And with that, I like to say, Kwam Yashar.
Kwam Yashar. Elder Rakat. Okay. Go ahead.
Juan, when did you come into the truth? And what year was it? And what was it that made you come into the truth and receive it?
It was actually 89. And I remember my cousin Shaw.
Okay,
General Shaw, back in 89.
AOC?
AOC.
AOC, right.
Okay.
This guy, he came and got me one morning. We went downtown Brooklyn. So we was actually down there. We was up no good. That's all I'm gonna say. We was up no good.
No details, nigga.
No details, right? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. We was up no good. So we went downtown in 1989, and I remember we was across the street. So Hashar kept on saying, we was waiting to do something. So Hashar kept on saying, let's go over and listen to them brothers. I said, man, I ain't going over there, man. I said, man, they gotta curse us out. So this was during the time of Eleanor Bumpers and Yusef Hawkins. So, the tensions in the barometer of racism was up during that time. It was a lot of tension going on. So this is when Jesse Jackson was trying to run for president, Rainbow Push and all that. So long story short, I ain't gonna be long. So he asked me again. He said, let's go over there and listen to them brothers, man. I said, nah, that's a pickpocket organization, man. I said, they're gonna get you over there, they're gonna get us over there, they're gonna pick our pockets. So about 5 minutes later, he asked me again, man, let's just go over and listen to him, waste time, let's go over and listen to him. So I said, okay. let's go over there. So this is 1989. So he went over there and a Tazabon was speaking. Man, that dude was cutting me about 3-4 different ways. And he was talking about music, like Christopher Williams and Ali Shaw, shrimp, lobster, everything this brother was saying, he was talking about me.
Good.
You know, I had the slope, little S curl in my hair. Everything was saying, I had the little blaze on. You know, you brothers look like bump, 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 bump. So about 10 minutes later, Ashar said, there they go, let's go. I said, nah, man. I said, nah. And so I said, look, you can go, I'm gonna stay. So he said, all right. So Ashar left. So Ashar left and came back 3 hours later. I was still standing in that same spot, listening. So after Tazabon had went up, then Kazak came up, smoothed everything out. Boom, 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 boom. So Shaw came back 3 hours later. He said he went home, took a nap, and came back. I was still there, Ash. Still there. I said, you believe what these brothers are saying? Christ is black? I said, man, this is crazy, man. Christ is black? Shaw said, man, I'm getting out of here. So Shaw left. And so I stayed there. So then Shekiah told me to get a flyer. He said, you got a flyer, brother? Get a flyer.
You got a flyer, brother?
Yeah. So after I got a flyer, he said, so this is on Saturday, how everybody went through Saturday, Sunday, then Monday. So I was so intrigued by the word, I went up there on Sunday, the next day. called the shop on the rotary. I said, man, you believe what the brother was saying, man? And Shaw hung the phone up on it. Damn, you crazy, man. Hung the phone up on it. So then on Sunday, I woke up, and I said, man, I'm going up there, man. So I read the flyer, and I said, they up there at 1 West. So when I went up to 1 West, Shaw was there. He said, you look for the Israelite brothers? So I said, yeah, where they at? So he said, they're out on 47th Street. So I went out to 47th Street, went out there, took the train, jumped turnstile, took the train. And so when I got out there, Shy was speaking, going into him. So I was out there from 2 o'clock noon to like midnight. And so the next day, Monday, they told me the class started on Monday. Same story like you, Ben. Went up to Lahab's class. So when I went up there, YAHAWAH was there. Same story. Saturday, that's what we call it. Saturday, Sunday, that Monday. That's how you know the spirit was working that weekend. So when I went up to Lahab's class, he was coming from his mother's house in Washington, D.C. I remember. He said, YAHAWAH said, hey, young man, you got a pencil and pad? I said, nah. He said, you got a copy of more prepared. So he gave me a notepad. This is a true story. YAHAWAH gave me a notepad and a pencil. I kept the notepad up until 3 years ago. Everything was written in there. Man. So then Lahab came up, he seen the French fries in my face. So Lahab said, are you hungry, Troop? You got anything to eat? So I said, no, I'm good. And so he said, where you from? Where did you learn this from? I said, from Brooklyn. He said, I know all the brothers. So he said, you know what? I believe Most High placed a spirit in you, brother. Looking at you, Most High placed a spirit in you. This is what Lahab told me. So then after that was pretty much, that was all it took right there. That Monday I went up to the school. After that, 33 years later, never took a break.
You became part of our camp in SOT.
Yeah, look, before SOT, we was just going out. Before SOT formed up in 92.
The original.
The original SOT, right. You're looking at the original SOT, right. So SOT,
you gotta give it to those brothers too that took it from us. I gotta give them credit for that too.
Right. So SOT formed up in 92. We voted on the name. Right. So we was the first brothers actually to put letters to a camp. We was the first brothers to put a name into a camp inside 1 West. SOT then Tahar came up, Warriors of Truth. Yeah. All right. Then Mount Zion came up. Right after that, Aaron, Mount Zion. Right, Mount Zion. So those are the 3 camps. Right. Those are the 3 main camps right there. Mount Zion, Warriors of Truth, and SOT. So through that, of course, years later, 95, you had a lot of brothers come in. But I'm gonna tell you like this: I lived in the Shire's building from '91. I lived in the Shire's building from 1990 up until '95. And him and Kazak taught me, man, a plethora of history, man. I can't forget it. And I'm gonna say this to them brothers' credit too. A lot of brothers don't say this. I know I should bring it out sometime too. Those were the first brothers to bring out those icon books ever. Yep. Those are the first brothers to bring out the icon books and show that Russian black history to the world. Even the Muslims during that time, FOI,
were ignorant to the history.
They wasn't even showing that history. So I remember when Shai and Kazak used to bring that history in class. These fellas crazy about Russian icon. These fellas crazy. They were the first brothers to bring that history out to the world. Now it's blown up. Icon, world history, black Jews, icon, Moscow. So like, they were the first brothers to bring that history out in class, man. The Shites come out with them big old books, man, and dust on them. Blow them off, man, and page by page, go to libraries back then. So Yeshai, when he taught me the history when I was living with him, I was fascinated, man. I was like, damn, this is interesting.
Well, I said it was the history of the Dark Ages.
There you go. Byzantine Empire, right.
From 193 AD
right.
all the way up until like the 17th century, we ruled. Well, like you said, Yeshaya, Kazat, Ariatu, first ones to bring out that history that we ruled Europe.
Right.
And we were the black kings and like emperors and all that, all throughout Europe.
Right.
King Arthur, King James, Charlemagne, all of them. Timothy Severius, all of them. Peter the Great, all of them. Marco Polo, the Vikings, the pirates, the Crusades. That's all of us,
Right. So when they did that, they taught that. I remember Shia used to take me down to his apartment in his basement in the building when I lived with him, and he used to have like libraries of books, man. He used to have libraries of books. So I just took that, man, and just took the torch and just carried it on. Found out Romeo and Juliet was black. Romeo and Juliet was black.
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare was black. So you got all of that during the Elizabethan period. All of that, man. Found out all of them dudes was black. You know, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, and all that. And found out that these guys were they were black. Richard the Lionheart. Matter of fact, what's the guy name again? Rob from the Rich, Get to the Poor. Robin Hood, black too. You know, so just through that little flint right there, just a plethora of stuff like that. And all praise to the Most High, I was able to write something. And I share that knowledge right now, man, you know, to the world now, man.
Right.
You know, you got scholars over in Rome be interviewing me. They were like, what the hell? What? We know Romeo and Juliet was black people. And when you go, and let me say this too, and this is it, I'm ended. When you go and when you get the transcripts and the playwright, okay, of Shakespeare, like Macbeth, and plays like that, Romeo and Juliet, he says all through the plays that these are black people. He even mentions the Moors are black. All through the plays he mentioned these are black people. Shakespeare mentions these are black people. So when I shared that one time on 3 interviews, man, they was astonished. So like the elders were saying, man, including myself, man, this torch is getting passed to y'all. And we're just trying to bring brothers together. We're doing stuff that nobody else is doing. You know, all through the spirit of YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH. All praise to the brother that's still pushing his work, man. And we're going to pass the torch to you young brothers as well, too, man. You know, it's an honor that these brothers are here, man. And support this, man, because like I said, we're just trying to get everybody together, you know, and support and pump this thing. Zephaniah 2:1, we're going to come together. And with that, I say all praise to the Most High, YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH.
Come. All praises.
I came in, these brothers in the 80s, I came in the 90s. I came in 92. For me, my brief story is, I just graduated from college. I was a degree in history, history professor.
Historian.
I couldn't get no job because I was real militant. I couldn't get no job, couldn't place no job. Looked at all my thesis that I wrote. My thesis was called Militant Black Abolitionists. Like all the preachers back in the 1800s that fought against slavery. Like Henry Highland Garnett. These are men that was actually preachers that said that the white man was enslaving God's children. So I was into that history. And also I'm a preacher's son. I'm from a long line of preachers. And they were all militant. My father was a militant preacher. So I couldn't land no job. Then I ran into a brother that said the truth now. You know I was into history. And he knew I read the Bible. And he knew I knew about Islam as well. And he showed me in Genesis about the covenant between Ishmael and Isaac. And once I saw that, I understood that YAHAWAH was from Isaac. I understood that Prophet Muhammad was from Ishmael. So that just told me right there, I got to deal with the Bible. So listen, I want you to come down and meet these brothers. I want you to come to my house. There's a brother named Banya Sha'ala, Kwabaka, Ali Yakim. These brothers taught me in the brother's basement for about 6 months, one-on-one. Then they said, listen, man, we're not coming back. You gotta come to 125th Street. So I came in 125th Street, and there was a brother named Elder Kazak teacher. And he was a well-known historian. You might have heard him say Kazak. Now when I came into his class, he started teaching about the Persian and Medes, the Babylonians. I never learned that in Esau school. So I was attracted already to that. Then he started talking about the Egyptians. I knew a little about the Egyptians, but I didn't know all the details about the different dynasties. I knew about the Romans, I knew about the Greeks, I knew that side of history. But when we came into the Bible, I didn't understand the Persian Medes, the Babylonians, I didn't understand the history. Right. Then he showed me the Apocrypha, where Alexander the Great name was in the Apocrypha. And once I saw that, I was hooked on 125th Street. So that you know, these brothers came in the 80s, I came in the 90s. A lot of the men that came into the truth came in basically in like 90 to like 95. That was a lot of young men came in. Floodgates were open. Yeah, and they had something called the Truth Program. The brother Kazakia, his father was one of the starters of the Truth Program. Kawakab and Mashaba. A lot of us, when we came into the Truth Program, we had the endure and go through a 2-year program where we learn the Hebrew, the Gospels, the history, martial arts. A lot of us that you might see teaching now, the true programs like Sabat, the true program with me, YAHAWAH, the true program with me. A lot of notable brothers that came in the 90s at that time. And from that point on, I've been the truth with the House of David through Marshall, and I've been with these brothers ever since.
All praises.
All right? And like I said, my name is Kwaz. In those days, with no duplicate names, nobody had the same name. So if there was a Wakar in the school, I had to put another name before that. So my name was Kawatazar Wakar, which means militant spirit. All right? Because nobody had duplicate names. There was no confusion. So,
And if you had it, you would be Karatazar Wakar.
yes. Right?
The second,
Right.
Second.
Right. So it was a Wakar, it was a Wakar, a mob that was ahead of me, and I took that name. But it was never no one had duplicate names.
Okay.
So since now, we always now just go by Wakar.
Con.
All right, that's how I came in.
All praises, all praises.
My name is Carlos Labrine, and my journey is a little different than all these brothers here because I knew of the truth like 1971.
So like it's another interest right around
His
the
name
corner.
is Yosha, and
Like,
he
on my okay, go ahead.
my name is Carlos Labrine, and my journey is a little different because my journey started like in 1971, 72.
Okay.
I have a cousin, his name is Yosha, and he's still alive. He got me by a few years, but when I was 14. And he was telling me about the black man as the Hebrew Israelite in 1971. But 14 years old, you're not feeling that. So, and he was very militant, but like a lot of us, we don't get the scriptures when we first get there. It's the white man's the devil, that's all I knew from my cousin. But see, I'm so glad that I didn't gravitate to him with understanding because he's in the Old Testament. And he's been in the Old Testament. So fast forward 1991, got some brothers that was part of One West. And I was working in the Department of Corrections. And I got a brother named Harag, a brother named Blair, and another brother named Lieutenant. Now these brothers worked in the jails with me, and I was a militant or rebellious CO, if you know what I'm saying. So I went to the emergency service unit, and I'm hearing this brother, Harag, he's telling me, I'm hearing him talking to a white man, who now I know is an Edomite. He said, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna bring you back alive, and I'm gonna kill you again. And I'm like, what is he talking about? So, I'm listening, and this goes on every day. And I'm eating my bacon and egg sandwich and listening to him. But then I got into trouble at that spot, so they sent me back to my jail. So now I'm meeting Blair. So Blair is talking to the females about how they supposed to act. And I'm listening to him, and I'm like, well, damn, this is the second person that I'm hearing talking about something about Israel. And I'm still not there yet. Now, this is 1991. So I was convinced when I went back to the emergency service unit, because Harag said the same thing. I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna bring you back alive, and I'm gonna kill you. And I'm like, well, why is he saying that? What does this mean? And so I said, ding, it hit me in 1991. So I was thirsty in 91. I came back to my jail, and I'm looking more at Lieutenant and Blair. I said, we Israelites. I said, Israelites. I said, I understand that. I said, okay, where we gonna go? They said, well, we out of 1 West, 123rd Street. So I'm like, let's go. He said, nah, man, you don't want to go right now. They fighting in the streets, meaning the Israelites. 1 West is fighting among each other in the streets. Internal, yeah. So I'm like, well, damn, how do we go there? CEO, let's go. I'm like, yo, let's get lit. And he said, we're not gonna do that right now, brother. And so I said, I gotta wait on this, but I know I'm an Israelite in 1991. So now Fast forward 1996, I'm still dealing with Blair and Lieutenant. And I just had a newborn son a few months earlier, right? So I'm telling them, I'm trying to do this, I want to do this. And I said, I just got a son. So he said, I got a brother that you should meet. I said, I want my son to be anointed. I didn't know, Christianity and all this. So I said, yeah, I like my son, because my Dorib at that time, I was pushing that, so she wanted to. I said, no, we can't get christened because I don't deal with the church. So she said, I said, yeah, I got something. I talked to Blair. So that's when Blair introduced me to Ash. And from that point, with Ash and Banyamya, those are the two brothers that I understood. They came and they anointed my son, and that's why I said I'm in the prison since 1996. And from 96, I was a member in the park from the House of David, wanting to be in One West, but they said it wasn't the right time. But like I said, a lot of us come in, and a lot of us, the Most High knows when He wants you to do what you need to do. Because if I would have found my cousin in 71, I'd have been 50 years of Old Testament dude, and then these brothers probably wouldn't have been able to tell me nothing. So I give all praise to the brother that's trying to strive to continue to hold the torch and trying to gain knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And I commend the young men for even reaching out, because everybody now today the doctrine look like a crayon, look like crayons, a crayon box. You got so many doctrines. And with that I say, I give a lot of props to even Blair and Harag, but as far as building me up and holding me up and building me up and being there is Ash, Banyamya, and then Barak. I'm gonna use it right in that order. Ash, Banyamya, and Barak. And I'll say shalom. Keep up the good work. All praises to the Most High God of gods.
We know we're nothing without our eldership. That's why we seek y'all and we lean on you. Elder Mathaka, the same question. When you come into the truth, what was it that grabbed you that made you cleave to it and believe it?
All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All praises to the Most High. By right, it's a worthy thing to be a peer of these men, you understand? So just like Labram give shout out, Ben would know me more than anyone else. I came in 97, right? October 30th, 1997. I was coming from church. I grew up in the Adventist church, but my father believed in Rastafarianism, believed in Selassie was God. So with that, my father got deported from Detroit. 1988. I was in the drugs business in Detroit, so when he get deported, and he came back to Jamaica and was more radical about white people. So I learned from both sides. Although I go to a church with my grandparents, which is my grandmother, go to Adventist church, learn about Ellen G. White and white Jesus. My father always tell me, no, Christ is black, Haile Selassie. So I was in that mindset. So I was coming from church, and I hear the brothers I'm in Sam Sharp School preaching. And even now, and I'll just go back to that. When I leave and come to America, I hear brothers talking in terms of who you have to talk to certain brothers, the voice and all that stuff. And Ben knows Tazadak and Isaiah. And I come from church and I hear the man them say Christ is black and the white man is the devil. And I have a Bible in my hand and I went over there to look, see who's saying that. And I see a woman, Jehovah Witness woman came. And the woman came and said, this is my Jesus with a Jehovah Witness booklet. And Isaiah stepped off the podium and took the book and took it and tear it up. And he said, F you and your Jesus. What are you going to do now? And I was like, damn. So even then, people scared to ask a question. So I was in the back and I put up my hand to ask a question. And Tazalak said, yes, the crowd parted. Right? It was a Red Sea. You understand? These are experiences of Banyami and no. Right? And Tazalak said, yes. And I said, what day did I them worship on? He said, Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Next. You dare not ask the next question. And when I'm there, I stand up there till about 11 o'clock at night. And I stand up there and I said, when they finished, I went over to Karkazaya. Ash, you know Karkazaya? Right? And I went over and I said, where y'all worship? They said at that time there was at the KFC. But then we left KFC and went to Cottage Road. Right? And so when I went there, this is how we do it. Just like Barack mentioned when he was in the camp. When I go there, I hear that I was 42 in command. You understand me? So if we have a line, I was the last one down the hill. Right? So when we go there, I was saying to myself, oh, the man then said, Christ is black. Can I do that too? I was saying it to myself, like, and they call a white man the devil. I was like, what courage? Because growing up in Jamaica in the 90s, I never know nothing what homosexual was. You understand me? So I remember Butcher singing this song 95 book by buying a battle boy head. That's when it just coming in what homosexual was. So growing up in Jamaica, they have a thing what they call people who love, laugh, joke, sissy. So you couldn't be a sissy in the 90s growing up in Jamaica. You couldn't be soft. So we come around that environment. So by joining them, I went to the KFC that Sunday. We used to do camp 5 days a week. And you have to be 8 hours a day. The first thing Tesla like when I ask you how much hours you work for the white man. So you cannot, when I come to America, I say 4 hours, 6 hours, I just smile. But in Jamaica at that time, it was 8 hours, the least. Right? 5 days a week. So even then, we never have books, no cell phone. I still have Ben Bible and Apocrypha from that time, still have it. Right? So now, when we do all that now, we used to be in the library. The least time we get is in the library. So if one brother gets a Babylon to Timbuktu, we have to photocopy each page. One brother gets a Apocrypha, because that time nobody knew what the Apocrypha was in Jamaica. Because the people then put a stigma on the Maccabee Bible, it's evil. You cannot have it. So when we're teaching the people about Apocrypha, they don't want to hear it. We don't want to read the Maccabee Bible. Yeah. You understand me? So when we're there now, it was phenomenal, man. Israel was nice in the 90s. Because we used to teach black people for love. You understand me? You have brothers, Tazaman, he came down. Zion, Flatbush came down. You have Priest Kahan. Ariaram gave me my name. I know some of you know Ariaram. He gave me my name. You have Naquan was the front runner for that. But when I came in the truth, it was 2 camps in Jamaica. Naquan have his own camp. And Kahan was over the camp that we was dealing with. It was under House of David. You understand me? So it was under House of David. So by then now, in Jamaica, I was striving. I studied. Because when I came in October, Ben left September. So when I get to talk to Ben now, it was about 2000. Because I said, we never have cell phones. So I started to talk to Ben in 2000. I was always asking questions, reading, studying. So by 2003, I started to travel, right? In terms of Matthew 20, verse 19. So I went to Cuba twice. I went to Barbados. I lived in Barbados for almost 3 years, right? I lived in Barbados. I went to Grenada, St. Kitts, and all these places I was teaching. So by then, when I came to America now, I built up a reputation in Jamaica, brother, where I was doing TV program, radio program. I have a reputation in the street. I hear people said no prophet honor in their hometown. But Barack, you all know I get honor in Jamaica. Wherever I go is respect. From the airport to Ian Bowen, the biggest journalist there, I started to build up my reputation. And it was rough, raw, because that's how you have to do in Jamaica. You cannot go to Jamaica and deal with Jamaican like some Jew are. It will not happen. So by then we doing that, I get the opportunity to come to America. I remember when I come to America, brother called Daniel and I said, listen, I thought you cannot be in Jamaica and he live in Jamaica. You advise him to go back, right Ben? And Ben came and tell me and I said, no, not yet. You understand me? And I came in America and I would be lying to you because the scripture says when you come to prison, most like you prepare yourself for temptation. Right? It was a struggle in terms of transforming from Jamaica to America. You understand me? But at the same time, you have all these men in the truth. They have something that I want. So everything you have, certain brothers in America is so emotional, man. In everything they left. No. You understand me? Oh, you step on my toe and I leave. I'm going to open my own school. Listen, brother, how much time your father with your ass? And you have to pay back in it. Brother, we have to close the door out. Don't open the thing is, no, the emotionalness when you see with brother here, you understand me? You will set brother and who said can't be left emotional. So I have to transform, just like the Bible said to the weak, you become a weak to gain that weak. You understand me? So if I tell you we never have ups and downs, I will be lying to you. But then at the same time, where am I going to live to? When all what these men have, I want. You understand me? So I end up spending 10, 11 years in school. And then I say, okay, it's time to transform. So when we transform now, we said, listen, we start the summit as Barak state. When Barak write the letter, Cartazala typed it up. And I issued a letter to every school, NIT, IUIC. Kanai came out and thought negative thing about it. Tahar said, not now. Yohana didn't reply. The first summit we have in GOCC was there. Brothers came through. And then when we came, we call it the summit. Because we're trying to put heads together to see what we can come in terms of all this fighting. Because we all have this belief and different understanding, right? So when we found the Mashara Yashala now, our brother came there and the brother said, Mount Zion is in Iraq. So just like we hear from a younger brother that way is younger than us. But he came and said something and then we take it up and then we and Barak and Cartazala start to look into it. You understand me? And then we say, okay, we give it a break. And then I remember when the debate came with Ashar, just give me 2 more minutes. Remember when the debate came with Ashar and Polite State said, oh, you have a land and nobody don't want to go there. And I went back to Barak and said, we have to go to Zion. You understand me? And then when we went to Zion now, it put things on a whole different level. You understand me? We start to get other Israelite elders. And the elders is not just us. Right. You understand me? We start to get other Israelite elders in other region involved. And then we hear the opinion, and then we have to humble ourselves. When we went to Israel, we never know nothing. We know what America have to offer. Just like when I came here from Jamaica, I don't know nothing. I have Jamaican understanding. Right. You understand me? So then we took it from there, and then we start to move. Then we start to move. Then we start to move. We start to study. We start to research. We start to study. We start to research. And then the most I put it on my spirit now where I went back to Africa. Because when I read the Bible tells us that our sons and daughters will be sold in slavery. The Most High said the sons and daughters will go, and your eye shall be held, and you shall not do nothing. So then I start to say, the children are going to be sold, where the parents going to be? You understand me? If the children are going to be sold, where the parents going to be? Then you start to understand, if a white man wants to build a new kingdom in America, who would he take to build that kingdom? You understand me? So then I start to trace back the family lineage to Africa. And when I trace the family lineage to Africa, a lot of Israelites was mad at me. But then I understand the jealousy in terms of you first have to say that every Israelite say Hannibal is an Israelite. And he came from Algeria, not even West Africa, but Algeria, which I believe Hannibal is an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You understand me? So when I went back there and I see the Hebrew tribe, Barak came out there, and Barak see, Barak build, Barak understand, because we're stepping back in our father's footsteps to see what they see. You understand me? And then even for me now, I can see why our foreparents took West Africa. You understand me? The richest land on the earth. You understand me? The land that flowed with milk and honey. You understand me? The Dutch tell them when they went to Ghana, the children was playing with gold, just like in Puerto Rico. Because Ghana named the Gold Coast. That's where our foreparents left from. You understand me? So when you see that now, it's just great. And then now, the scariest thing is just in terms of I'm still young, so I just pray for the Most High to still keep. You understand me? And I never bethink myself. I never lose what I learned. But everything in the elders, brother, because I have elders in Jamaica, which Barak been known because of that. And I came to America, and I have elders here. All these brothers in Osa David as elders, all of them have different attributes. You understand me? Because although Ben know me in Jamaica, when I come here, I never get a pass. I was speaking to a cat in Jamaica. You understand me? I remember when I was in Jamaica, I called the school of Sir David. That time we have land phone, we have cell phone. And I called the school in Sir David. We call Sir David. I answered the phone and I said, I asked her Ben. He said, who is this? I said, I talked to her. He said, where you at? I said, I'm in Jamaica. He said, so then take a train and come to the damn school.
Yeah. You thought he was in Queens, Jamaica.
So I just hang up the phone, boom. So then I have to call up Ben and say, who was that? And Ben said, must be Michael, I was doing video. You understand me? So it's natural. It was nothing to be offended about and cry about. But you do that to somebody, no, they left to set up a whole kingdom for themselves. So it's just different journey we take. And then when we can sit down, we drinking some wine and we reminiscing, it's the beauty about the one thing with Raka. When we go to Israel, what's the purpose? What you learn? I remember he asked us the first 2 times, I said, brother, I don't know. But one day you will know. Didn't I say that? I said, I don't know. Because you have to be honest too. Right. What the purpose? Why you going? I said, I don't know. But one day we'll find out. But now everybody sees the benefit of it. Because that's where most of you brothers know me from, right? Going to Israel, and then y'all reach out to me online, and I was there to nurture most of you with the knowledge, what I know, what I was taught. You understand me? This is why we can have this conversation now. And I'm happy I was a brother to all who I met online that willing to be humble and learn. You understand me? And this is where we're going to build the kingdom together. As Barak said yesterday, some of you might be 144,000. Some of you might be 1/3, that's real glory in that. You read the book of Psalms, David said we're like them that dream. Just imagine, we fighting like this together and we make it to the kingdom together, to reminiscing on the journey what we take and the part that we play in this truth. You understand me? So y'all have to keep this, brother. You understand me? Y'all have to keep it. Y'all have to be greater than us, man. You understand me? But don't be great in puffed up, but be great. As the scriptures, YAHAWAH said, don't care about what you do on earth, but do the work because your name is written in heaven. Because that's where we want to be, for your name to be written in heaven. So we have to just continue and push it. So even though in Ghana, the summit keep after set schedule, because Barak knew I did have prayer engagement before the summit, and I never make it, and individual was offended. But I said, no, that have to cancel the summit come first. Because you cannot stop the gathering of brothers together. In terms of the same discipline here. I'm in Ghana teaching the Israelites in Ghana about Marsha, Arya, YAHAWAH, Yeshaya, Zach, and YAHAWAH, and all these men. You understand me? Because these men were great men, regardless what you want to feel. For somebody, Arya started in the 70s, somebody to be teaching in the 70s that the blacks are the Jews and the white man is the devil. Yeah, that's something great. That's great achievement. You understand me? Because if you do the history in the 70s, Malcolm X, Luther King, all these people died by no chance. You understand me? I watched a video with Arya tell a policeman he put on the gun back and say, what are you talking to? Don't F with me. I'll F you up. And it was just him and the next man here was him and Marsha only. And when you see these men, that's why brother say, oh, you go to Africa and be like this. You understand me? Because the Bible said the righteous have to be bold as a lion. And then you have to test the Most High. You understand me? Just like Ashtellian left, travel, just go to New York, see the truth. He's in New York since. You understand me? You have to test the Most High to see what he do for you and how he might protect you. You understand me? And this is what we do in our journey in terms of going to Israel. We knew that Israel was bad, can? Then we come back, we hear this on the news, we say, where did that happen? You understand me? So even we go to Africa, the Most High will protect us, brothers. And I've been doing this from even before I come to America. So it's just a stepping stone to everything and great achievement, and then we all can worship Him. You understand me? But we have to give shout out to One West. God, all these Israelite Negroes out here talking, like, you all know I'm radical too. Like, I will say what I feel to say. You understand me? So you see all these other madmen talking about One West? None of them do the achievement of One West was. Because brothers was in Jamaica 95 teaching on the street from One West. Ask them where their school was. You understand me? So for me to leave also David and go to Africa, that's the legacy of One West. It's through a program that Marsha set up. Marsha said after 7 years you could go and establish your own school. You understand me? So this is the vision of our elders. You understand me? Our elders. You understand me? This is their vision we're living on. And I've never met Marsha. I've never met. Only person I speak to was Sean. You understand me? And Shaw called the school in Jamaica one time and told us not to listen to Banyam. And I asked Ben, I called him, I said, who's this nigga? You understand me? Like, you calling the school like, you understand me? So that's the only person from the 7 I ever speak to.
Let me make a point before we finish about the House of David being split from One West, because you know, and you probably hear from you know, a lot of talk or whatever concerning the splits that happened at One West, and this is around 1995. There was splits called in One West. Brothers mentioned about the 7 from Marshall on down to Shaw. I think Zaquan mentioned Shaw. Other brothers mentioned Kazakh. We mentioned Yeshaya. We mentioned Lahab. And said YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH, Marshall, of course, was head of school. But there was, of course, a lot of conspiratorial talk concerning Marshall, and he was part of the FBI. All that was talk, right? So there was splits. There was a lot of, let's say, theories about what Marshall was doing and everything. They came up with a doctrine called the 12 King doctrine.
Who came up with it, Barrett?
Yeah, this was YAHAWAH, Yeshaya, right? They came up with this 12 King, and this was all to really, to get Marshall to really bow down to, you know, what they want. Not so much to kick Marshall out of school, but so that his authority wouldn't be as, you know, pervasive in the school anymore. So, of course, there was a council, right, concerning this, a big council. Before the congregation, the brothers in the council, they belittled Marshall and so forth. And so, when that happened, it was a big thing. Okay, it was a big thing that happened. So, all these brothers were there, and when that happened, Marshall, you know, made a decision on his own. Nobody convinced Marshall. Nobody said, Marshall, you know, you ought to leave or whatever. He came up with that on his own. It was time for him to leave because it seemed that the brothers that were, you know, part of the 7, right, pretty much. And at that time also, I think Lahab was already gone. Yeah, there was another split before Marshall left. That was in '94. Lahab had already split and it was gone. There was a situation that happened, and Ash can tell you, they can tell you what happened with Lahab. Because Lahab had what was called Central Command, the administration at that time. During that time, the administration grew to a point where it was causing conflict between the actual leaders of the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge and, of course, Lahab took over the Central Command. You know, and there was a conflict there. Lahab wanted one thing a certain way, and of course, Marshall, YAHAWAH, of course, ran things as the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So there was a conflict. And so, and then at that time, like El Zaquan said, SOT came up with the idea of the oil tables brought in revenue. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you know, once money is comes into play, Satan comes in. You know what I'm saying? Once money came in, that was all, and these were ideas from SOT now. Okay? The oil tables, the garments, all ideas from SOT. So we were all part of SOT. Right? And Mount Zion, he was part of Mount Zion. But still, it was like really the offshoot of SOT. Right? We look at. So, and then of course, eventually, the mistreatment of brothers, the abuse of brethren. Once the monies came in, there was a mistreatment on how they would go out and make the oil table, get them to use up the oil tables and everything, and how they would distribute the monies. So it came to a head. Marshall realized he had to take over the oil tables, take the school back over. He seen it was slipping.